Okay, so you also practicing meditation as well, and you've been here for some times, and we basically know the technique how to practice meditation and the benefit of it. So today I was thinking that rather than just generalizing the talk, I want to focus on the practice a little bit more, and then how we can do. Like in the past, if you remember, I was talking in a sense of more like paying attention to one object, and then bringing this scattered mind to focus in a way that's improving the focus, improving a concentration, and becoming familiar with the primary object that we have chosen, like breath, paying attention to the breath in and out, or the rising and falling of the abdomen. And the rising and falling of abdomen, then again, most of the time related to the breath in and out, but it is not always the case. Sometimes some people have a different sensations. Some people may have, like when breath in, it goes, falls, and then when breath out, it rises. So that's why it may not be related all the time, as when breath in, it rises, which is the most obvious one. Okay, so either of these, just coming to familiarize with that one, and that's the only to bring this scattered mind, that normally our mind is conditioned with the different things in day by day. So having this one object and familiarizing with it, just simply knowing to come back, which I normally call a home base as well. Simply coming back, feeling ourselves connecting with our body through this primary object. And today I want to extend on that when you are practicing these, first, or the primary object as well as the secondary object that is coming through, these are just an object. We cannot force, and we cannot hold on to, or we cannot generate it as that's the right thing to do, and this is the right path, and we are doing this as the right path. Not like that. In a practice, the more we become skilled in the practice of paying attention to these things, paying attention to, just like a bare attention, in a way, simply there, and we are paying attention to it. We are not forcing our mind to pay attention. This is what you have to do. It's like when we are forcing a little child, you should stay here and do it, and normally it doesn't do it. When it goes off, we become angry. I told you to stay here, and then we become angry, like that. So the very moment when we have this attitude of keeping this mind in this position at all the time, then it begins this resentment and the anger and the doubt and the negative thoughts will generate. So in the practice of insight meditation, what happens is just bear attention to what's taking place. Like the baby, we have a boundary. Within this boundary, no matter how far you want to go, go. No problem with that one. So it's like a baby in this room. Off you go. As long as safe, you can wander around. So that's the same thing with our practice of meditation, insight meditation. So whatever happens during our meditation time, just to pay attention with that. And this having a primary object is just coming back whenever we need to. So it is not the absolute truth, and it is not the absolute thing that we should hold on to. It is just there to help us, assist us to go through. So we are not paying attention to it all the time, and we are not anchoring ourselves there all the time. and we are not having this attitude of I should meditate and my mind should be with this object for a long time. Not like that. Okay? And that is just there to help us. We are paying attention to everything that's happening, being aware of everything that's taking place within ourselves. And through that, we will be able to notice our bodily sensation as a whole. Throughout the body, we can feel that the sensation. And when we are seeing this body as a whole, we are not taking it just one part, but as a whole, the single body. And then when we take as a single body again, it is very difficult to see whole body. We see it, we feel it, we sense it only when there is a sensation, when there is a feeling, or where we have a clinging on. Suppose we have some diseases or pain in our body, like I have a back pain. Pretty often whenever I feel uncomfortable, then my mind just goes up there. Okay, you are having pain here, like that. So in this situation, just need to relax. Relax from mentally, not physical. Mentally, relax. And then finding a relaxed position, and then go on with that one, like that. But in the same time, in the practice of meditation, we are looking at this body as a whole, the meantime, understanding, knowing and seeing those, the gross level of sensations. And through knowing it and through understanding it, we automatically relaxes the body. Relax the body muscles, and tensions in our brain, tension in our eyes and shoulders, even the muscles. It just drops, and that you can feel as well in that position. Okay? And that's the first stage. And the second stage would be the paying mindful awareness of our thoughts. Thought process going on all the time. Right? And this thought process which is going on all the time, we just need to be mindful and aware of what's happening when it is taking place. In that situation again, we are not pushing it away, nor is it grasping. There is no reproduction of the things that we are making it again. Observing it and then making it again. So whenever there is the tendencies of forming into a right or left, negative or positive, then again we are not being mindful of what is taking place, but we are creating as we wish. So there is a desire comes in. And whenever there is a desire to create or form something in relation to we want it to be, then that is not the truth. That is not the reality. In the practice of meditation, we are trying to cultivate, to understand this reality, that as it is, not as we want it to be. So when we are paying attention in that like that, then we will be able to see the way we are perceiving it, and the way we are observing it, and the way we are going to create it or not. How much we want to engage on that. The more we engage, we off go somewhere. Not here with this body. We are not connecting with the body. We just off took a long flight somewhere in the past history, and then looking for in the future that should be in there. So that's why in this the classical example will be the anger. Anger is a very classical example. We can see it, we can feel it, and then everybody knows what is it. So when there is a negative, though, this anger arises, what we have to do is just to know it, bear attention to it. It's like simply patting a cat. Okay, here you go. patting the cat, patting it. The very moment when you catch it, cat will react very, what's called, not likingly. It may scratch you or just run away. Okay? And so that's the same thing with our mind. Whenever we have this anger, very moment when we catch this anger that this is me, and it hurts us. In the meantime, it hurts someone who's near to us too. And we cannot grasp it too, and we can push it away. The very moment when we hit the cat, it may be, yeah, it will fight you back. Like that. So that's the same with our mind. That does something similar. So, in the practice of meditation, is just to bear attention. This is the anger. This is the anger. I am having anger, and this is what I am feeling. And if you are skilled enough, then your mind is sharp enough, aware and very mindful, and you can see lots of chemical changes that takes place in your body. Body heats up, breath become abnormal. Somebody sweats, sweatings come, and somebody shakes themselves, and somebody will move their legs, need something, some air, like these chemical changes will happen. Chemical change takes place, and in that moment, if we are skilled enough and our mind is very sharp enough, then we will be able to notice those the first time. And when we notice that, we, rather than taking attention on the anger, we are taking our attention to those sensations. To those sensations. And then we are disconnecting from the anger, but connecting with our own feelings, own sensations. That's the second stage. And the first stage, if we can't observe these bodily sensation or chemical changes that takes place in our body, just to realize that I am having this anger, being aware of it, mindful attention on that anger, and then noting it a couple of times. And a suggested noting would be 3 or 4 times. I'm angry, I'm angry, I'm angry. Or if you want to more in a detached way, this is anger. This is anger, and this is anger. Or just say angry, 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 and then let it go. Not more than 5. If you go more than 5, then again there will be more anger. Okay, so that's 3 or 4 times, and then let it go. Like that, and then just back to the home base again. So that's why there is a home base, but we are not clinging on to it as an absolute truth or absolute thing that will help us, but that is just a tool to realize rest of other things, and whatever happens, just to bear attention on that. So the body and the mind. So we see the 2 different things here, and whatever happens, just to bear attention on that, and not taking it as a subjectively, but taking it in an objective way, as they are, not as I am, as it is, to me, like that, not like that. So, and whenever we are able to pay attention to on these, what happens will be, these become a very gross. Okay? These become a very gross to us, like a pain we have, or the sensation that we have in our body all the time, but we do not pay attention to until we feel it. But it's taking place all the time. And in a practice of meditation, what happens is, these sensations and feelings become very gross. It's become a very tangible. You can feel very hardly. And then that's the same thing will happen with the mind as well. And these become a very visible or tangible because our mind is paying attention to it. We are aware of it, whereas other times we are not aware of it, no matter how big is that. It's like a disease that we have, you know, we do not know because we are not paying attention to. But very moment when the doctor says, then there you go. It's like a cancer patient. Before the doctor said, they're fit, happy, they can carry on with their life. They can fight with this cancer. The very moment when they know, and everything starts to work. So that's the same thing with it. When we know it's paying attention to it, then this has become a very, very visible. And then in that moment, we need to realize that, and this is because I am paying attention to it. And simply bear attention on that, releasing it, no engagement, taking it objectively, and then I'm back to the work. Okay? So let's see how we can go further from just the paying attention to, or the focus on the one primary object. Okay? And not only the primary object, any other things that comes to distract us, that will become the object of concentration later on. In the meantime, no matter what happens, just bear attention, no engagement, let it be, and enjoy. Okay? So, like that. Okay, rather than me talking, let's go to the work. Unless you have any questions to... No? Okay. Sitting in a comfortable position, settling down, grounding yourself, leaving all your responsibilities aside, being here and now with your body and the heart and mind. Freeing yourself from any sort of a thought process or conditions. Connecting with your body. And relax. If your mind is still wandered off, restless, simply you can scan the body, relaxing whole the body, finding your own anchor, a comfortable where you can establish your concentration. The obvious movements, which is easy to pay attention to, easy to observe. You may use it as your anchor place, whichever you feel comfortable, such as the breath in and out, or the abdomen. So let's begin with this first. Finding your comfortable primary object, settling down, grounding on that, becoming familiar with it. Such as if you feel comfortable with the rising, falling, being mindful as it rises and as it falls, rising, falling, rising, falling. So if we have chosen this rising and falling of abdomen as the primary object, simply bringing this scattered mind, a wandering mind, restless mind, to settle down by being aware of this rising and falling of abdomen. So this will be the primary object of concentration. So settling down, grounding yourself onto it. There is no tension involved, no grasping, simply being aware of it. There is no holding the process, nor the generating the process. Let it flow naturally, normally. Our job is to simply being aware as it takes place. Being mindful of it. Let your body and heart and mind rest on it. So this will be your primary object of concentration. And meanwhile, whatever other sensations arises, the sound that we hear, any temperatures that we feel through the body, or any smells, or any thoughts arises, these will take it as a secondary object, a visitor who is visiting our home. We will take care, look after, but not grasp or attachment on it. Let it go and stay with the home, rising, falling. Rising, falling. So neither of these two are the absolute. A primary object that we have chosen is the object that we are conditioning ourselves to settle down ourselves. And all of the secondary objects that is distracting our mind, and whenever we pay attention to those secondary objects, simply being aware of it, observing, acknowledging, noting, and let it go. In the meantime, no matter what happens, just being aware of it. Bare attention. Bare attention of arising, falling, bare attention of any distracted mind, or any sensation that comes through our senses. Whether that is kushala thoughts, wholesome thoughts, or unwholesome thoughts. Pleasant sensation or unpleasant sensations. Simply being aware. Bare attention on that. No forming towards any sensations into likeness and dislike. This bare attention will help us to understand our body and our mental formations. It also helps us to understand that sometimes body affects the mind and the mind sometimes affects the body. Simply bear attention no matter what happens. Observing, acknowledging, noting. Mindful attention on it. And extending your understanding rather than a particular place to the whole body. Feeling, seeing the whole body.